Hey, welcome to my channel. My name's Panache and I'm really happy to have you here. If it is your first time joining me today, baby, welcome to the party. Really happy to have you here. Lady Committee and, Vibe Minister at your service. And if it is not your first time joining me, I love and I appreciate you so much because, sometimes I do weird things like calling myself the Vibe Minister with absolutely no basis. So thank you for sticking around and staying with me through my weird and wonderful different ways. But for today I want to start off this video by saying Merry Christmas and a very, very happy new year to all of you. We have made it to the last month, and that is by the grace of God. And it's just something to be celebrated. You have to celebrate being alive, being well, and just still being here to tell the story. A lot of us have lost loved ones this year, and a lot of different things have happened. So it's good just to be grateful. It's good to be grateful and acknowledge, like, do you know what, through the highs and the lows, through the ups and the downs, still made it to December. So I really hope that you're all having an amazing Christmas, or you had an amazing Christmas and great time with family, friends, loved ones. And I really hope and pray that you all have an amazing, amazing new year. For this video, this isn't quite like a topical video. This is more of like a summary and rounding up of everything and just life and so far, just looking back retrospectively and just being grateful and acknowledging like everything that has happened, will happen. And even just, the first thing I want to say, even for myself, I'm very proud of the fact that I have managed to stick it out. Granted, the last like 2 videos, timing, like distribution timing, has not been great, but I have stuck it out and continued with the content creation. And I'm just super proud of myself. Like, going into the new year, I'm gonna make sure I've got my schedule down and I know when I'm creating content, when I'm publishing content. I will try and do the whole backing up content thing, but sometimes I don't like that because I like to speak what's on my mind in the moment, what's raw, what's fresh, what's current. So I feel like if I was to do videos like 2-3 weeks in advance, that might not be where I'm at in that moment. So but you guys let me know, like, if you don't mind, and I just do like maybe some videos that are like on topics. I think moving forward for next year, we'll have some videos that are like topics and segments and sessions about whatever, and those ones then I can definitely do in advance. But the ones where I just want to talk to you guys about whatever's going on, like, let's talk about it, let's talk about it, then I guess I'll kind of just do it more organically, like within the moment. So I hope that even with some of you guys, as you look back, is there things, maybe write it down, is there things that you look back and you're like, you know what, I did that, like I did that thing. Sometimes it's really good to sit down and just label your achievements, label the things that you have done well this year, label everything that you have achieved, that you've been successful in, even if it's like things that don't measure your successes according to other people's successes. If this year was the year that you got your driving license, that's flipping amazing. Clap hands for yourself, you did great. If this is the year that you got the promotion you've been praying for at work, amazing, well done, clap hands to yourself. If you passed your GCSEs and got onto sixth form, amazing. If you got into uni, if you have just wherever you are, whatever stage you're at, it's always really important to look back retrospectively and be like, do you know what? Through it all, I did all right this year. I achieved quite a bit. It's really important to be able to do that because you can start to see, there's the previous videos I've done where I've spoken about planning for the year to come and being organized and being structured. And it helps you with your future planning if you can see the goals that you've met and achieved in this year. And it also helps you to feel like life hasn't just happened. Like, I think sometimes we can get into a space where, especially if you're going through depression, stress, or whatever else, sometimes you can get into a space where you feel like the year's come to an end. I've done nothing. I've achieved nothing. And sometimes, no, not sometimes, majority of the time, it's a lie from the devil. Like, the devil up here whispering all up in your ear. You know, like when they've got the little angel and devil thing in the cartoon. Sometimes we allow the little demon devil thingy to speak way louder, and we're not paying attention to what the little angel is doing. And it's like, you have to block out, like, literally, like, flick it off. Like, if I could do, like, animated video editing, I'd literally draw, like, a little thing here and just flick it away, you know? You have to focus on the truth. And, you know, that's why, obviously, your girl is, you know, she a Christian, so that's why I love me the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? Because for me, I always have to counter everything, every negative thought, every negative, you know, ideology that the enemy might put in my head, everything that may enter my mind. I have to then read scripture to counter it and just like flick it away, because that's what the enemy does. Okay, like we saw it in the Garden of Eden. He came and just did whisper into Eve, and then she spoke to Adam, and we know how that story goes. But shout out to Jesus, the real one, decided to be born and, you know, die for us so that we may have life and have it in abundance. And, you know, he rose again on the third day just to prove to the devil, like, you're done. Okay, you're done. So because the devil is done, he's like finished. All these negative thoughts and lies, you have to just like dust them off. Like, you have achieved something. The fact you're still here, you've achieved something. Even if it is just saying you've achieved existence, you've achieved something. You've made it this far. You know, like, I just think it's really important to look back, write a list of all the amazing things that you have done this year, regardless of how big or small. You know, some people have done, like, you know, flown to different countries and done charitable works and saved a life if you're a doctor, or whatever the situation may be. But it can also just be you learned how to spell a certain word that you've always struggled with. That's a win. A win is a win. Okay, a win is a win. And I just want to encourage you to look back and highlight some of your wins. Doesn't matter how big or small. Even if it is that there was that one time you can recall where someone was super rude to you and you didn't lash out at them, or there was a time you were driving, somebody cut you off and you didn't hoot them. That's one place of improvement. I can say I have grown. Like, I wouldn't say I've got road rage. I wouldn't describe myself as someone with road rage, but I think I do get impatient. And I've definitely improved, especially on like the whole hooting the horn at crazy drivers. I don't do it anymore. I don't. I mean, if I genuinely feel that my life is at stake, then yes, because if someone's falling asleep on the wheel or whatever, like, I gotta let you know. But before, like, if someone was just being dumb, and even if there was a way for me to safely remove myself, I would definitely hoot my horn a couple times just to be like, what's up, what's good, what's the situation. And I have now learned to be like, all right, cool, hold your peace. You're a child of God. You're not supposed to be lashing out at people. And sometimes you never know what people are going through. And some people are just rude and whatever, but I shouldn't now lower myself to their standards of being selfish, rude, and obnoxious just because, you know, I feel like I need my peace to be heard. No, like, I've really definitely grown in that place. So if that's you as well, that's something to celebrate. If you know that you no longer participate in arguments, in gossip, in whatever, like, you've just developed yourself in some way, celebrate that. Celebrate that. Like, it's all good and well to do goals and have goals and ambitions and things you want to reach, but you also have to be able to see what you have actually done successfully and make sure that you continue to do that thing and improve that thing and do it even better in the year to come. So just a little encouragement for you guys to be like, write it down, get a list, you know. Let me even tell you some other amazing things I've managed to do this year. This December actually, I went to sing carols and worship music in a prison, and it was such a, I don't know how to describe the experience, but it was such an amazing experience. It was enlightening. It was just an amazing experience. And it's something that I've always said, like, oh, I would love to do, like, work in prisons, like, whether that's speaking to people and encouraging them, or singing, whatever it might be. So it was like amazing to be able to use the gift that God has given me, which is the gift of worship, to be able to give that to people and let them feel and experience the presence of God through music, and let them experience and understand that they can have freedom even within the confines of prison walls. It genuinely was such an amazing experience and a great opportunity, which I would 100% do again. You know, it's always good to give. Like, I'm one of those people, like, I genuinely love the ability to be able to give to others, to be able to pour into others, to be able to help in some way, shape, or form. If it's helping you with career advice, helping you with your spiritual walk, helping you to just navigate your thought processes, where you're at and where you're trying to go. I love the opportunity to be able to help. And you know, like the Bible talks about iron sharpening iron, I love to be able to be that iron that sharpens you up, and then hopefully you sharpen me too, because I believe that you can learn something from every single person. We've all been through different walks of life, different experiences, and as much as I may, you know, pour out and use the word of God and life experiences, there's also life experiences you've gone through which pour out into me. Even, you know, certain videos and topics have actually been through the suggestions of other people, have been through the suggestions of, you know, followers from TikTok or Insta, or, you know, people that reach out to me and they're like, oh, could you talk about this? Could you talk about that? And teaching me certain things. So yeah, like, you know, I just want to encourage you guys, look back retrospectively and see your wins. You know, I started YouTube consistently this year, sang at a prison. I went back to performing as well this year, doing paid gigs. I had stopped doing that for a few years now. Also this year, I just finished... It's so funny how God works. I've been kicking myself because the last 2 years, I haven't written music, I haven't done anything. And before this year ended, I have one of my friends who raps, and he asked me to feature on one of his songs. He was like, yo, I've got a project I'm working on, can you just do something here? And, you know, I was like, yeah, cool. So I dropped like a little, you know, like a hook chorus situation with like an opening verse, not an opening verse, sorry, an intro with like a hook chorus. And yeah, like, we did it and it's done. And it was so crazy because he had asked me this a while ago, and I was like, yeah, like, you know, let me know when you're serious, let me know when you're serious. And I was just being silly. And he'd always say to me, no, like, I'd love to do a song with you, your voice, da 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 da. So I'm like, yeah, let me know. So one Sunday, it was so funny because it was last Sunday actually. Last Sunday after church, he must have said to me, he was like, oh, we still need to do we still need to record something. Like, when are you gonna come studio? I was like, I'm ready when you're ready. And I was like, but I'm leaving because Christmas is coming up and I need to go and see my family. So I'm leaving to travel on Friday. So let me know what it is. So he's speaking to me on the Sunday. So on the Sunday, he was like, all right, cool, bet. And I was like, bet, when then? And then he's like, oh yeah, we can meet up on Tuesday, da 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 da. And then he was like, actually, what you doing tonight? This is on a Sunday, right? Mind you, that same Sunday, I was leading praise and worship, and I also did exaltation. So I've just finished, and my church service, as I've said before, is 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. So evening service, we're having this conversation like 7:30ish, 8 p.m.ish. And he's like, yeah, like, come through. And I was like, do you know what? I will come through. I will come to the studio and we're going to record something today. Because I was just like, you know what? Life is about being in the moment and being able to just say yes. I've been putting this off for so long. I even have recording equipment myself. I just don't know how to create beats. So sometimes that's where I get a bit stuck. It's like, oh my gosh, I need to find a producer, someone to make the beats, whatever. And honestly, that same Sunday that we went is the same Sunday that, like, we basically finished the whole track. I laid down my parts. He did his, like, you know, he did his verse, the first verse of his, and then he also did a second verse. No, he then did the second verse after, but like, the song was basically done in that one seating. And then I did sort of come back on the Tuesday for like final touches, whatever, and then his verses were all done. But yeah, like, guys, I did a song this year as well. For those of you that know, I'm already on Spotify and Apple Music. You'll see 2 songs against my name. We've got so if you type in Panache, again, this is on one of my other videos. If you go back, one of my either my first return video or my first video, but I definitely speak about Spotify and Apple Music and how I've got, there's a track called Save Me. So you type in Panache, accent on the E, there's Panache Save Me or Panache Love Like This. Those are my own songs written by me, you know, worked with a producer, and yeah, that was pretty cool. And then I did a feature as well on a song called Grateful, and again, you will find that all in there on the socials, not the socials, sorry, on the different music platforms. And yeah, I then just sort of went a bit quiet on producing my own music and doing my own thing. But I can lift up my hand and say I did it in this 2023 before the year ended, worked on a track. Granted, it wasn't mine, it was a feature, but still did the track, still recorded it, and you guys should hear it next year. I will definitely promote it on my year, and I've got my own goals for next year as well for music. I will be bringing you guys some tracks. But yeah, like this year had its ups and its downs, child. Like this year's had its ups and its downs, child. Like maybe next year we'll talk about it, because I'm looking at the time, I'm like, I'm really trying to keep this, you know, within a certain window. I always say like 15 minutes, max 20, and then I could get carried away. But yeah, this year there's been so many, like my year has been like this. Like if you were to look at it, roller coaster, like that's been, you know, my year. But I look back and I think, do you know what, God, regardless of it all and through it all, he's been faithful. He's been so faithful. So faithful. The fact I'm still here, able to create this YouTube video, speak with you guys, and you know, I've got my glistening jewelry. You know, I'm looking kind of cute. You wouldn't know the trenches that I've been dragged through in this 2023, child. You wouldn't. You look at me and you think, yeah, life is good, it's sweet, it's easy for her. I mean, I hope you think that. But that's not the reality. The reality is, you know, like, there's a poem called Footprints in the Sand. A really beautiful poem, really popular poem. I remember I read it when I was in like primary school or something. But it just talks about how, as a guy, I'm really paraphrasing here, I think it's a guy that like dies. And when he dies, he speaks to God, and sort of God is showing him like, or Jesus is showing him a montage of his life. And Jesus is showing him how he was walking with him throughout his whole life. But one thing the guy noticed when he was seeing all these flashbacks and these memories was in the low points, because he was like, look, he showed him footprints in the sand, and he said, these footprints represent me walking with you through life. And when he saw the moments where he was going through a really difficult, tough time, he looks at Jesus and he's like, I've noticed that when I was in my lowest and darkest points, you seem to have abandoned me. There's only one set of footprints. And then Jesus is like, there's one set of footprints because in those moments, I lifted you up and I carried you through it. And when you were strong again, we walked together. And it's just that concept of sometimes you don't realize it, but when you are in your lowest points, the fact that you're still here today means that God carried you through that. God carried you through those moments and through those seasons. And he always has a plan that is good and not of evil. So these are just a few of my words of encouragement. I'm going to definitely put the footprints in the sand thingy here. The poem, I'll put it there. But yeah, guys, just look back, look at your wins. And as you know from my previous ones, I don't even need to talk about the planning. I don't need to talk about breaking up your year into quarters and looking at Q1, Q2, Q3, because you know that, right? And if you don't know, get to know later. That's from a song called All Right Still. So, anyway, sorry, my mind was going there. But yeah, guys, I hope you have an amazing rest of your Christmas, amazing new year. Start the year strong, go strong. And if you are watching this in the future and you're in 2024 and you're thinking, oh my God, like I didn't do nothing, like I don't know what I'm doing this year, breathe, calm down, pull up a piece of paper, break down your year into quarters. If you're in Q1, it's still good. Like you're in a great position. If you're reading it in like Q2 or Q3, that's fine. But at least, you know, you can make sure that the next couple quarters are strong, you know, you got to do this thing. And just make a plan. See your year as 3-month blocks. Set goals and achievements. And at the end of the year, we do the same thing. We look back retrospectively. But if you've now got your list, it makes it easier. I have run over my time. Guys, I hope you've really enjoyed this video. I'm going to also be doing a lot more shorts next year. So look out for those. Maybe I'll try and do one today. I don't know about what, but yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's been amazing. Next year, look out for more changes. You can see change of scenery today because I'm not at home. I'm at my family home. But yeah, guys, have an amazing new year, a blessed new year, and step into the new season correctly. Do this thing right. And I love you and wish you all the best. Enjoy your day, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are and what time you're up to.